Hey everyone, welcome back to The Thoughtful Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Jen Amos. And today I have with me Bernard Reisz, who is the lead strategist at ReSure's Advanced Financial Planning Concepts. You can learn more about Bernard and his company at his website, 401kcheckbook.com. That's the numbers 401, the letter K, checkbook.com. Bernard, welcome to the show.
Jen, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And I've got to say, what I love about this show is thoughtful entrepreneur. Those two concepts, thoughtfulness and entrepreneurialism. Is that like a word? But I love those things. And when they come together, that's really awesome. And that's really what I try to do for my clients, is approach things thoughtfully and kind of give everybody that deep level of attention. So excited to be here.
Yeah, very happy to have you. And I appreciate you saying that. We on our show, Thoughtful Entrepreneur, we're not just looking for any entrepreneur. I think that we're looking for, entrepreneurs and small business owners who put a lot of heart and thought and compassion into what they do. And they're not just in business for transactional relationships. They're really in it for the long haul. They're in it to serve. Although obviously it's important to make money, but the reasoning behind it, I think, is what makes really good businesses sustainable. So thank you for sharing that and sharing your thoughts about our title, The Thoughtful Entrepreneur.
Yes, and I love that insight. That's like a real, if I can kind of take your words and extract something, like a real golden nugget from there. Mm-hmm. If we want to, just to oversimplify, in the world, maybe there are people that are kind of givers to the universe and takers mm-hmm. from the universe. Mm-hmm. Let's just use universe to kind of be neutral. And so, of course, as a business owner, there's a profit motive. But if fundamentally your goal is to help people and along the way support yourself and your family, that's going to be one kind of business. Whereas if somebody whose approach is, okay, how do I make money? How do I get money? And then it's like, okay, all right, I can get money by creating a business. That business is going to look very different. If your primary focus, what motivates you is giving fundamentally, that's going to be one level of service. And in the financial services industry, where I'm active, that's probably more apparent and something you encounter every day in this space more than any other industry. Is your financial professional or advisor primarily trying to figure out, what they can get, transfer funds from your pocket to theirs, or their primary concern to help you? And it's really, really clutch to understand the nature of your counterparty.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of money, Bernard, you have a lot of credentials. You are a CPA, CPCU, ACI, ARM, and much more. And, in our notes here and when we were talking offline, you kind of consider these titles a little pointless. And we were also talking about your approach in the financial industry and how you take care of your clients. So let's talk past the credentials, why they're pointless to you and what is most important to you in helping your clients.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so there are two components to this. So while I have these credentials, I think it's a mistake to think that they automatically give anybody authority. Mm-hmm. So while I've got them and it takes a lot of effort to earn some of those, not all, but some of them, they don't actually give you, having the credential itself does not equip you to really help people. So CPA that's difficult to earn. CPCU is difficult to earn, mm-hmm. But they don't actually equip you to really help people. In order to help people, you have to go out on your own and do your own independent research. That credential maybe says something about your temperament, your commitment, your diligence, because those are not easy to earn, but they don't confer authority. And it's interesting to see how people make assumptions all the time. CPA, that automatically gives people some image and they put you in a certain bucket for better or for worse. And it really should not be that way. You know what, each one of us, certainly if you're an entrepreneur, we blaze our own trails. And in the financial space, there's a lot of room. Yes, you know, financial advisors, CPAs, there are endless numbers of those. But a handful kind of go out on a limb, and blaze their own trails, develop unique expertise. So the credential, I like credentials in this if they're hard to earn, because they tell you something about the personality. But you still have to go out there and develop the body of knowledge on your own.
Yeah, it would be nice if there was a credential to actually learn how to help people, you know, and not just be book smart about the financial industry.
Yeah, but I wonder, you know, as a credential, you know, I almost think that's an oxymoron, because every individual, it's never one size fits all. And it's really, if every credential necessarily is taking some sort of definition that somebody decides that this is the curriculum and this is what we're going to teach. And it's kind of this homeostasis, it stagnates. It's, you know, it doesn't give you all, it can't. Anytime there's going to be a curriculum, it's not going to give you what you need to help everybody, or anybody actually, because every individual is different. And the financial space is dominated by people that know one neck of the woods. They know one product well, and that's what they try to promote or sell. And there's, you know, somebody may be an expert in life insurance, and they're going to try to tell you, all right, this is the product for you. But they're not going to consider all the investment opportunities. On the investment side, somebody may understand stocks and mutual funds and bonds, but they may not understand real estate. There is no curriculum, you know, that can be so varied, that can capture all these things. And so I think to a certain extent, you got to leave it to the individual to find their way, or what I've committed myself to is being able to take all these different areas and integrate them, because that is something that is sorely lacking. Business owners, investors, they have to recognize that anytime you're talking to a financial pro, there's almost always a one-dimensional perspective. And what they need is a multi-dimensional approach. So it's, you know, there's, you know, depending who they talk to, they're going to see one thing or another promoted, because that's what that other, you know, whatever that advisor can sell, that's where the emphasis is going to be.
Yeah, no, thank you for elaborating on that. Let's talk a little bit about, let's talk about some examples, Bernard, about the types of clients that tend to be drawn to your company and the process they typically go through.
So there are an array of clients. The unifying theme is people that are thoughtful. That's really it.
There you go.
It's thoughtfulness. People that recognize that, hey, I don't want to just be sold to. I really want to have in a relationship with somebody that can take a deeper look and really understand things and understand my scenario. Right? Most advisors are kind of pulling you into their world. All right, I live in the world of this tax strategy. I live in the world of this financial product. And they try to kind of bring you into their world. Really, what you need is to bring the advisor into your world. And those are the kinds of people that are drawn to ReSure. So we are independent, completely independent, and are ready to enter your world and see what makes you tick, both from a financial perspective and a lifestyle perspective, because that has to be, as an entrepreneur, that's the focus that you have to be. It almost rubs me the wrong way when I see a lot of these, you know, different things out there on the internet that are talking about money, making more money, and they're kind of missing almost a very key component of this. When you make the money, the beginning, the end, and the middle, you're left with nothing. So the earning money, being an entrepreneur, having a business, you have to integrate that with your lifestyle. So, you know, there are financial strategies that we can suggest that are great for one person because of lifestyle changes they're ready to make, but for another individual, it's not a great fit. So for some people who say, hey, if you do this, make this tweak, you can save $100,000 in taxes. But that may be great for you, but not great for somebody else, because, hey, there's a price tag associated with that. And so that's really what we're about. And it's another thing that we're about is really understanding every niche service that's out there. You know, just yesterday I was having a conversation with an entrepreneur who was considering various tax strategies, tax mitigation strategies. And against taxes, we all want to save money on taxes. And there are tax tools out there that require us to kind of get into your business and understand how you're doing things and optimize. It's heavy lifting. It's kind of hard work going through it and seeing where the opportunities lie. And then there are tax tools that I call them tax deductions in a bottle. You can kind of sign up for companies that are essentially selling tax deductions. And some of these examples are captive insurance, syndicated conservation easements, and all of these come with tax risk. And the people that promote these are usually not totally knowledgeable or upfront about the tax risk associated with that. So we make it our business if we recommend or suggest or just bring up a tax strategy that we're really experts in it. So captive insurance, for example, that's why I have that CPCU designation. CPCU stands for Chartered Property Casualty Underwriter. ARM is Associate in Risk Management, and ACI is Associate in Captive Insurance. So a couple of years ago, this is something that kept coming up, and certain financial salespeople kept bringing it up, and we decided we have to know this inside out. And so really took a deep dive and became experts in that. And now once we're able to work with our clients and we can approach this thoughtfully, we can say, all right, here are the pros, here are the cons, here are the risks. We can look at the structure and say, okay, we can optimize this, because we're not just selling it and earning some sort of kickback or commission. We really understand it from the ground up.
Wow. It again, going back to the word thoughtful, it sounds like you are really thoughtful in your approach in working with your clientele.
Yes, here's where I think one of the things, a bit of a paradigm shift may be needed in the financial space. Right. Very often people will fault Wall Street financial advisors, financial salespeople, life insurance agents for being salespeople, right? Right. They've got to make a sale. And there are a lot of insidious and pernicious, unfavorable outcomes to that, right? Because your life insurance person, he's got to make a sale. If he doesn't make a sale, he doesn't get the commission. Right. Now, we all know we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, that one of the things that can kill a sale is time, right? Things get stale, right? And so if your life insurance person has to make a sale, he does not have, even if he wants to take the time to explain all the options, right? Life insurance can be structured in an infinite number of ways. And so I can talk about life insurance with the client for hours and hours and the different ways that it can be done. But that's counterproductive if you're a salesperson, ironically, right? So even if they want to help you, and they would love to spend that time from a sales perspective, they know they've got to ABC, always be closing. And that's not good for the clients. Right. But I do think that the financial salespeople are not, or the industry is not solely to blame. I think consumers have this perspective that they want to feel like, okay, I paid for something, right? I paid, and now I got something else in my hand. Kind of like if you walk into a retail store and you buy a pair of shoes, or you bought lunch, you paid and you got something. Whereas if you want to, in the financial space, if that's the approach you take, you're not going to get the full picture. So the more thoughtful way to go is really, okay, no, I'm willing to pay for the perspective, for the advice. So when I work with people and we bring up captive insurance, right, I'm going to say, I can bring it up and say, hey, I'm not pushing this. Here are the pros, here are the cons. This, defined benefit plan, here are the pros, here are the cons. Investing in real estate can do this for you. There's certain benefits it can give you, certain benefits it won't give you. But if you have to sell because clients, or prospects actually want to buy, they don't want to, that's going to remove the thoughtfulness from the process.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it right, the thoughtfulness is the key ingredient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that because I think that there is a certain perception of financial advisors in the financial industry that it's commission-based, just like our real estate counterparts, I'd like to think. And, it's always about that commission, or at least that's what it's perceived as. And so if you as a financial advisor can, really come off or really have the intention of being thoughtful, I think that clients can really feel that. Like there's a phrase, it's like, there's a term called commission breath, right? Like people can tell if you're just looking at them as a commission. And so all of the advice you shared right now, I think is very useful and insightful for financial advisors who don't want to come off as salespeople, but actually thoughtful financial advisors.
Yes. I mean, thoughtfulness is, I think, the recurring theme. Mm-hmm. And it is, unfortunately, there's a lack of it out there. There really isn't enough thoughtfulness. I think it's a bit of a systemic issue. So I wouldn't ever fault any particular individual in the space.
Right.
But the way the system and the industry is structured leads to that. And I don't, frankly, all my conversations with financial professionals, I don't see that being fixed anytime soon. Mm-hmm. And I see very few of them kind of being able to take that thoughtful approach. And I give you some insight and some interesting anecdotes. So I'm a CPA, but I have a life insurance and a securities license. Mm-hmm. So I get called all the time by firms that say, oh, come work for us and come do stuff for us. Mm-hmm. And so at one time I actually said, all right, let's see what this looks like.
Yeah.
And so the first thing they did was they kind of give you like this, one of these tests to test your sales ability, your ability to sell. That's the first thing they do. And depending how you perform on that test, they take you to step 2. And what is step 2? Step 2 is give us a spreadsheet we need 200 names of your friends, family, and acquaintances.
Yep.
We want it should include email addresses, phone numbers, marital status, family size, children, no children, estimated annual income, estimated net worth, liquid net worth. Mm-hmm. And then you fill that spreadsheet and you're supposed to submit it to them. And they review that. And if they say, hey, they like this, then you get a telephone. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Essentially, that is the barrier to entry. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're primarily looking for, is just sales. And most people, right? So yeah, I never did that. I was just, I didn't, I was pretty, I was blown away actually by seeing that. I wasn't actually going to give them a spreadsheet. But if you take a step back and you think about how did most financial advisors get into the space? Mm-hmm. The barrier to entry is really low. The securities licensing exam is not very challenging. Mm-hmm. It does not in any way, comes back to what we spoke about in the beginning, does not in any way equip somebody to really help people in any way. And then they join a financial firm and then they're more or less told to go sell. So the way this industry is structured, so even now 5 years in, and now maybe this, the rate of attrition in this space is huge. These commission-based businesses, 80% of the folks don't stick around more than a year or two. Mm-hmm. The firms like it. I guess I'm throwing all the dirty laundry. The firms like it, Jen?
Oh, because they have that constant, just what do you call it? Just that constant like number of people, like, you know, just a number of financial advisors in the funnel and helping them with lead generation, really.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And here's what happens when they get somebody and the person gives them this list, their friends and family, and those are the first targets, right? So those are kinds of people that person is the best shot at bringing their friends and family through the door.
Right.
So that's where the person is pure gold to the firm.
Right. That warm connection, really, like, oh, like, you know, so-and-so.
Right. So you bring that person in. Now, the way the financial commissions are generally structured, there's a trailer. So the financial salespeople, they're not earning just commission up front. There's like a recurring commission that's paid to them. But usually that's contingent on the salesperson remaining employed with the firm. So it's like really great if the person is there for a year, he brings all his friends and family in, and then he leaves, and they keep the business, right? But they don't have to keep paying him out, right? And now the people that stick around, right? But you think about how they built their business and the message they got from the firm that employs them, right? It's primarily the emphasis on sales, not really on how can we help people. So that's a systemic issue, the way this thing is structured. And I really wish there was a way to fix that. I've discussed this with lots of people. I don't see a solution. But if I bring you into this world a little bit, it's like shocking the kind of the education. When we say education, I don't mean to say the professional education. The education and how to work with clients is kind of like you know what you get. You walk in there is like just sell, right? And so I don't see a solution to that. And you mentioned that you and my
husband,
are active or have some sort of connection to the financial space. I would love to get your perspective.
Yeah, you know, I actually absolutely love that you say that, because you are telling the story of so many disgruntled financial advisors that actually are interested in talking to us, because just like you, we decided to be independent as well and really redefine what this industry looks like. And so everything you're saying, I'm just nodding my head. I'm like, yep, I hear you. I know about that list of 200, contacts and that first year that, typically these financial advisors have to go through at this firm to really hustle, and they get burnt out. And when they leave, it's like their leads stay behind, and this company and whatever company they work at ends up really in a way taking advantage of that list, and really they're just trying to pull in these financial advisors to continue to build that list of leads. And so I like how you explain that it's systematic, because you can't necessarily blame the financial advisor. It's the system. And so I really feel like we've only touched the tip of the iceberg with this conversation. But I think hopefully, our financial advisors or aspiring financial advisors can learn from our conversation today, and even seek you out to talk more about, to talk to you and say like, wait, there's like a better way to do this, And so I just really appreciate you bringing this up and creating this awareness around the financial industry. And like you said, there may not be a solution today, but at least we're calling out the problem for what it is.
Yes. It's always recognizing, and something that in the financial practice, what I try to tell people, when you work a financial professional, don't look for somebody that has all the answers. Mm-hmm. You want somebody that asks all the questions. Nice. Generally, when people start working with us, we get more questions than answers. If somebody has all the answers kind of off the top of their head to everything you ask, you're probably not getting the most accurate and complete information. Mm-hmm. And questions lead to discovery. Mm-hmm. Sometimes question leads to new opportunities. Mm-hmm. If you've got all the answers, then something is being missed. So I say a good question is incredibly valuable, and the ability to question. And sometimes, being that no two scenarios are alike, we're always going to look at a tax scenario and say, okay, let's take a step back. Mm-hmm. What are the questions? In what way can we distinguish this? Maybe you're not like that case that's described in the tax code. Maybe it's a little different. What kind of questions? Rather than assuming, let's ask the question. Because if we ask the question, then we can find the correct answer. If we don't ask the question, we can't find answers.
Wow. On that note, I think this is a great way to end our conversation today, Bernard. Thank you so much for being here. You've definitely dropped a lot of knowledge today, and I will not be surprised if our listeners want to reach out to you. So again, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you today.
Jen, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this. And I love the fact that we've got this common background and this common ethos. So this is really great.
Yeah, we can complain together about the financial industry. There you go. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. And again, to our listeners, this is Bernard Reisz. He is the lead strategist at ReSure Advanced Financial Planning Concepts. You can learn more about him and his company at 401k. That's numbers 401 letter K checkbook.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll chat with you in the next episode. Tune in next time.